Let me tell you a little bit of an extra history trip with the review series. When I first made the intro for the shuttle review, I didn't really intend to make an actual review, let alone an entire series of reviews. It was really just meant to be a joke to send. Like, oh, what if there was like a Super Subway Brothers kind of review on the shuttle or something? And well, I guess that joke got played out, huh? The shuttle came out, then the B, the K, the D, the LGX, the 7, 11, and the E. Don't worry, when the Great Street Shuttle and Kennedy lines become newer games again, I'll make a review on those lines too, but for now it's time for Color Gun. The N train finished its review, and now time for the next in line. The train that plays second banana to the N train. So, without further ado, this is the review. This is the Q Train, as the Q starts at 53rd Street with the N, and does the same route as the N. However, this time it goes express with the W. The most common train code you see on the Q is the R46. Now, on late nights, the Q becomes a local train running with the N until 39th Street when the N goes to 86th Street, while the Q continues on to 53rd Street, taking over for the N. Now, the Q is a pretty stand-up line, if it weren't for the issues it has. First off, the variety. Like mentioned, the most common train car on the Q is the R46, and that's the most you'll see out of it. Now, do not get me wrong, I love the R46s to death, but seeing them on the Q just gets bland after a while. And second, the amount of dumbasses surfing and conquesting on the Q is huge. It's like you can't see like 2 trains without seeing a Q's roll sign change, or some literal child running on the back of the third. It's crazy. I don't know what attracts those kind of people to the Q, and if it weren't for them, the Q might be another one of my favorites. But now for the history trip. Though there isn't much to go over since I basically explained the entirety of Caligan and Madison Avenue's history with the N. But there's still quite a bit to go over. Now, the Q had the first ever crash in the subway's history, which happened on May 3rd, 1899, when a Ridgeways Island-bound train derailed and hung off the edge of the L due to speeding and an operator missing the speed limit. And also, after the Holiday explosion, some Q trains were rerouted to the 2nd Avenue line to Roshian Street to take over for the B, which was acting as a shuttle. During the signal crisis, the Q train was suspended. And now for a super major incident on February 3rd, 1974, when a time bomb on a Q train detonated when it entered Myrtle Avenue, which destroyed the train, the station, and everything surrounding it. Q trains started shuttling between 53rd Street and 16th Street, while N trains went from Ridgeways Island to Calgary Street. After the Stanhope crash, Q trains were cut to Myrtle Avenue like the N. On March 29th, 2008, a Q train hit a fallen tree that broke off due to a heavy rainstorm and fog, making shit hard to see. And finally, on August 12th, 2020, a Q train hit a metal Harley that was thrown by some motherfucker who was willing to throw Metal Harley onto the goddamn tracks. Luckily, the train went in the rail, but its power got cut out thanks to its short-circuiting. And the Harley, who became electric, was also safely recovered and wasn't injured at all. What a strong fellow. Now the Q is a train to everywhere, along with the J and M. If something goes wrong on another line and it needs extra service, they will send the Q down that line. However, the abundance of R46s on the Q really only makes the only line it could go on being 5th Avenue. But with most of the other rolling stock it has, it can go literally anywhere on the B division thanks to a certain junction, but I'll get on to that another time. But for now, the Q has some of the craziest shit happen to it. Like getting the first ever crash and even being fucking bombed, and now with the epidemic of conquestors, it's fucking insane. It really just gets shitted on by anyone and everyone. But I still like it. The train is fucking fast on Express. Though with the N on local, it can get kind of slow, like I said in the interview. However, when something goes wrong, the Q is always the first to get suspended. It sucks really. However, I still like the Q. Just spice up the car variety and track down the conquestors, and it'll be in my top 5. But now for the trivia. So the Q goes via 5th Avenue is colored orange. The Q was the last line to get proper NTT announcement programs before the game released. The Q train had Qs, if you know what I mean. The QT, the normal one that we see today, the QB, a reroute via 5th Avenue and Waterside, and QJ, which is the Q train but via East End or Trenton Avenue. The song for the Q is Planet Wisp Act 3. Don't worry, I'll find something for Act 2. And also for the people that didn't read the description for the end theme is Hate Machine from Doom. The sigil mod. Theoretically, the Q will have the most amount of reroute announcements. The images of surfing on the Q shown in this video were done with the help of this person. And that's trivia. Now for the Q, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I want to like it and I would rate it the same as the N, but the flaws described earlier kind of just bring it down. So anyway, this is Abby for Multi-Topic. You all have a great night and thank you for watching.